Shalom. I'm delighted to congratulate Magen David Adom on its 75th anniversary. MDA is truly a world leader from emergency care to mass casualties. Its history has paralleled the history of the State of Israel since 1930. Thank you for your support for this organization benefiting everyone in Israel, in peacetime or emergencies. Best wishes from the Presidential House in Jerusalem.
Day or night, winter or summer, we know only one season, human need. We use the eyes of science, heart of dedication, hand of mercy. When the call comes, we respond.
Magen David Adom was founded in Tel Aviv in June 1930, 75 years ago, as a response to the riots of 1929. The Jewish people realized that they lacked first aid services to protect themselves in the face of emergencies. In abject poverty, a first aid society was set up called Magen David Adom, the Red Shield of David. Throughout the 1930s and 40s, it was recognized by the mandate authorities as the Red Cross Society of the country. Volunteers from MDA were there to help new arrivals in the Promised Land. Holocaust survivors and new immigrants, ethnically cleansed from their Arab homelands, could rely on immediate medical attention from Magen David Adom, as could all citizens. We became the medical service of the Haganah. And Magen David Adom was instrumental in building the foundations of the Jewish state. With the establishment of the State of Israel in 1948, MDA members helped set up the medical corps of the Israeli Defense Forces. Following the bloody aftermath of the War of Independence, the Friends of Magen David Adom in Great Britain was founded. Anglo Jewry realized that the bloodshed and loss of life were compounded by an acute lack of medical supplies and resources, which could be provided by the diaspora. In 1949, the Friends of Magen David Adom in Great Britain made their first donation of 7 vehicles to be used as ambulances in Israel. The ambulances were gratefully received. In 1950, the Knesset passed the Magen David Adom law and recognized us as the sole organization in Israel to carry out the Red Cross functions of the Geneva Convention. Throughout wars, too many to mention here, and terrorist atrocities that continue to the present day, Magen David Adom has saved tens of thousands of lives. Today, Israel is still a young nation, and welfare services are still being built to the levels that many of us in Britain take for granted. That said, the progress has been dramatic. Communications in the early days were simple. There were no beepers and no mobile phones. Our command and control centers were basic. Ambulances ran a greater chance of arriving too late. Now we have an instant beeper service to alert crew members. We also have a revolutionary geographic information satellite system. Dispatch operators are able to locate and track every ambulance. It means they can allocate the closest vehicles to a distress call. Within minutes, they arrive on the scene to save more lives than ever.
The difference between 1 minute and 5 minutes to response of an ambulance can make a whole difference and can mean whether the person will continue living or not.
The Geographic information system is now installed in all mobile intensive care ambulances, but it still costs us £250,000 a year to update. In Phase 2, we need to install PDA systems into standard ambulances at a cost of £1.5 million. The population of Israel is still growing dramatically. New towns and cities require new emergency services. We now have over 100 stations and substations across Israel. Many need upgrading, and we need to build more stations. They enable our large number of ambulances to get to critical situations faster. Over the years, we've had to update these crucial vehicles, both the basic ambulances and the mobile intensive care units, to deal better with more dangerous situations and more types of distress and casualties. They need constant maintenance to remain operational. We didn't used to have many items on board. Ambulances were just for transportation, and there was a greater chance that the severest cases might not survive the journey to a hospital. But now, ambulances bring medical resources to the patient immediately. Every day, our medics and their patients rely on thousands of disposable medical items. A staggering £2.5 million is spent on disposable items every year. These are constantly in short supply due to the huge number of daily emergencies and the scale of mass casualty events. Our lack of medical equipment used to limit the attention we could give patients. Ever since 1930, our medics have dealt with life-threatening situations like heart attacks every day. Unfortunately, heart attacks are increasingly commonplace today. The population of elderly people is growing dramatically. This is why every ambulance is now fitted with reusable medical equipment like defibrillators or life support packs. Without this essential equipment, which can cost from £3,000 to £12,000, many more people would die. Staff development has always been an integral part of our work. In Israel, it's compulsory to receive first aid training from the age of 15, and with so many of our staff joining at 15 and working through adulthood, all of us have a constant need for training and retraining.
If you don't retrain in every period of a few months and focus on various aspects of emergency medicine, then people are going to start losing the ability to give the best treatment possible, and then again it costs in lives.
Courses are still organised for everyone, but at an annual cost of over £500,000. Consequently, we can't afford to offer all the courses necessary.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Since 1948, we've been committed to acquiring and delivering the nation's blood supplies for every hospital across Israel. The latest specialist equipment has always been required for blood drives, in bloodmobiles and in our donor rooms. When collected, the blood has to be processed and cutting-edge research undertaken. The National Blood Centre is the responsibility of Magen David Adom, but it has significant overheads. We distribute over 500,000 units of blood each year at a cost of over £3.5 million. Over the last 75 years, our tens of thousands of volunteers and staff have treated their patients with dedication and professionalism in the midst of bloodshed, panic and continued danger. We're impressed that most receive no financial rewards. 87% are volunteers. They're motivated by righteousness and civility. For them, to save a life means everything. Every victim of every terrorist attack has been treated by Magen David Adom. And every Israeli is touched by Magen David Adom.
Without Magen David Adom, I wouldn't be here, and also many, many others.
I would be dead without Magen David Adom.
And it saved my life.
Magen David Adom saved my life.
Thanks to Magen David Adom, we have a beautiful baby boy.
By the time you'll be watching this video, we've been quiet for a while now, but we are surrounded by constant terrorism threats, and we need to be ready and prepared for anything that may be. Besides that, we have the regular calls. We do treat hundreds of thousands of calls a year that aren't terrorists and aren't terrorist attacks, but we are under constant threat. Unfortunately, our experience and our history has shown us that we can't know what will be tomorrow, and therefore we have to be prepared for it.
For 75 years, we've relied on your generous donations and legacies. But without your increased support this year, our programs and life-saving services will suffer. Nothing is more precious than saving lives. Magen David Adom saves lives.